Hello everyone, and welcome to my first part of my free Let's Play. Oh, just remembered. Gotta write down what time it is. Okay, there we go. Now, I've been having a bit of a problem with getting this to record, in that it didn't used to do this, but now it can't record my microphone with the music going through my headphones anymore. So, because I don't want any echo in my recording, I'm going to have to allow the microphone to pick up the music from my speakers, because that's what it decides to play through. And I can't get this software to do any differently, because every time I turn it on, it defaults away from my headphones into the software. So, I apologize for the low audio quality of the actual music, but I'm really not being given much of a choice in this matter, because it's either that, no music at all, or some sort of weird echo with the music that I don't know how to get rid of. So, with that out of the way, let us begin. This is Ben, which is, as you saw on the title screen, there are two different versions of Ben. Right now he is currently just asking for a raise. Now, I know a lot of you found me because I did this without actually any outside talking, but I got back from the note back from the devs after asking them for permission, because that's what you should do if you are recording. Oh, by the way, autoplay. Basically, they said, we are fine with Let's Plays, but given that we are a visual novel, the only thing that we have is story. No one's going to buy this game for the gameplay. So, please try not to make like full playthroughs in one video, etc, etc, etc. But Let's Plays are okay. So, I'm going to have to Let's Play this, not just normal playthroughs. Now, the key thing here with what I'm doing is, I'm going to hopefully be releasing one of these videos per day, assuming that my sister, because I live at home right now because I don't have a job. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to record whenever I can and get as much done as possible. So don't be surprised if you leave some sort of critiquing feedback if I don't implement them within quite a few episodes, because frankly I don't want any background noise, etc. And my sister tends to create quite a bit of that because her room is close to mine and she tends to sing along while listening to music, and that I consider to be background noise, because that's about what it will pick up as. When I turn the volume up on the speakers, you can actually hear the music because it's not super loud. Now, in about 5-10 minutes or so, give or take, there's going to be some really huge explosion with a loud noise. That is actually the in-game noise, like it is that loud. And there's nothing I can do to turn it down, so just a heads up on that. Now what's going on here is Ben is introducing himself. He is the dude who cleans the test tubes and other lab equipment. Sadly, he is not really happy with that, and he has a low pay here. But what he does like is the actual scientific portion of it, mixing the chemicals together, etc. What he is saying here, I love this weird smiley face thing, whatever it is. Let's see here. I still don't know what Dungeon Knights is. I wonder if Yale knows, because I think Yale is a gamer. I'll be playing through Yale after Lynn? Yeah. Now, if you download the demo of this game, which some of you who watch my channel have said we really can't because we don't want our parents, etc., to find out that we are into this, etc. The key thing to do at a time like that is through something like this. Now, since these are visual novels and everything, and you can get the demo for free, I will be doing every ending that I can with Bree and Lynn, because they are the demo characters, and some of you can't play them for yourselves. So I might as well just do that because they are the demo characters. With every other character, I might not even do the endings just because I'm not really sure about how the devs would see that. But for now, I will be doing one full playthrough of each of the other characters in what I believe to be the ending that all the other stories will use. Now naturally, if you pick one choice versus another, the choices will mix themselves up a little bit. But as far as I'm aware, There are certain endings that are the ending, but all the other ones still tie in somehow. Like if you get one ending and not another, it still kind of works out because there is no true ending for Lynn. I don't think there's a true ending for Dina. But yeah, there's no real true endings for them because all of their endings combined somehow end up being the truth. Maybe 2 or 3 endings combined. What's going on here is this other character is Dan. He is the new character that is currently out. So if you do buy the game, Dan is the latest among them. They are coming out with a new character called Zara. That is the female name. As you can see, Ben is still male, so his name is Ben and not Bree. The female name is Zara, the male name is Zeke. They are in the basement of the mall, they run a gaming shop. You will see those in Steph and Dan's playthroughs. I'm not sure if you will see them in any other playthrough. Oh, here comes Big Boss Man. Dan was busy talking about something that he shouldn't because the boss has to hide certain information from the employees, and if they figure it out on their own, that's not exactly a good thing. So he's kinda... But keep in mind, these guys are like 24, so they're kind of lenient for bosses. You know, they're not like those politicians who are trying to get rid of net neutrality right now because they don't understand it. From what I've been able to hear when it comes to net neutrality, which I am very worried about because I don't have very good internet, and a lot of the sites that I go through don't exactly have the money to pay for that fast lane, as they're calling it. In reality, it's not a fast lane, it's a slow lane. Plain and simple. Like, it's not the fast lane, it's the current lane, and they're going to downgrade anyone who can't pay for it, basically. Yeah. And from what I have heard, a lot of the people that are making those levels of decisions, like in those committees and everything that are being made, those guys are former cable companies that sell you the internet. So, yeah, this isn't looking too good when it comes to net neutrality. Thankfully, YouTube is Google and has more money than everything because they're actually trying to outsell the cable companies on internet. So YouTube should be fine, but everything like Twitch, I don't know. Google isn't exactly going to be taking a hands-on approach like they did with YouTube. So I don't know if those sites are going to be able to get fast lanes, in air quotes. The internet's a mess right now. But, in further news, Ben is currently able to be getting his kind of dream job here, which is mixing the chemicals together. This is Derek, aka Dina. Spoiler. I'm going to try to keep spoilers to a minimum, but I really have a hard time doing it. If you guys can actually read what that poster says and post that in the comments, that would be nice, because I've never been able to read that. This is basically a sign that says no peeking. There's a few other things lying about. I don't really know what this poster is. They never show a full version. Sorry if I'm talking almost constantly. I'm still new to this. I'm rather nervous. And I very much hate awkward silences. Ben is kind of a... Is that really an egg that is a wind-up toy? I think that's Dan... Is that desk really mad at sawhorses? I just realized that. I've played this game like 2 times per character at least. I'm pretty sure that's a shark tooth on his necklace, by the way. Uh-oh. What's that loud noise? Here it comes! Kaboom! And yes, it is naturally that loud. Did you see that on the upper left? It said placeholder. I just noticed that. Damn. So basically, now the fun is starting to begin, as you can see. I just remembered something very important. I'm gonna have to cut this every 30 minutes or so, but there's nudity in Bree, Lynn, and I think Dina's. So I'm gonna have to cut that out because it is nudity, and I don't exactly have a good editor. I'm gonna move this. I don't exactly have a good video editor, so I can't edit it out outside of the actual recording. So don't be surprised if you see my video recording software kind of pop in, or like a giant sticky note or something to cover it. I'm going to have to cover that because it is YouTube and I'm a young channel without a good lawyer. So I can't exactly get rid of strikes if they get on me just yet. So don't be surprised if you see me being overly paranoid about things like that. Something that I realized that a lot of people don't know is that Windows 7 has a built-in digital sticky note. So don't be surprised if I actually bring that in to cover up the nipples instead. They never really show any other part of the body. Cat face. It's kind of funny. So basically don't be surprised if I cover up the nudity. I might actually cut the video short if I actually come across the nudity. I know when it is, I just don't know when it will trigger. So don't be surprised if I cut this video somewhat short. Oh, maybe that's just an arrowhead, not a shark tooth. Derp. This character is actually African American, but for some reason they actually make the skin look kind of similar to Native American for some reason. And that arrowhead really doesn't help matters. I really like this whole brushed hair design for their hair. If you're wondering why I'm not talking about the story, I've played this so many times, and frankly you should be reading it, given that it is a visual novel. And keep in mind, the visual novel is pretty much a video game version of a choose-your-own-adventure book. So that's mainly why the devs are kind of worried about Let's Plays, etc. that finish the stories. Bree actually has like 8 endings, which I will not be doing all of. I'll probably only do like 4 and then cut it at that. Some of the endings are kind of variants of each other anyway, which I'll probably just kind of spoil in the last episode when it comes to those endings. Hey, oh my god, Dan is tiny. I keep forgetting that, Dan is so tiny. Look at his face. I'm a grump. I'm judging you. Or not. There's a character in Yale's playthrough that I love just doing, I'm judging you, whenever I see that face. It's really hilarious. Don't be surprised if I do that a lot in Yale's playthrough. So I'm just warning you ahead of time so you can actually post it in the comments before I record that. Oh, by the way, they're busy wondering what happened to everyone else. I'm pretty sure you can take a guess, because I've already kind of spoiled it, but still. I don't think Ben actually ended up much taller. I'd say maybe, what, 2-3 inches? Ben like shrunk 3 feet or something. And it's pretty funny actually, because this coat actually looks more like a sweatshirt now somehow, rather than just a normal jacket. I don't know how that ended up happening. Let alone how her clothes didn't rip. I never figured that part out. Her clothes didn't rip at all, by the way. Despite how far they expanded outwards. And then, look at this, look at this. It shrunk in, somehow. How did that happen? Ugh. Now this one can kind of get away with it. This one, how in the hell did that shrink? Oh, by the way, this is Lynn and Dina, formerly known as Derek, formerly known as Liam. Is that her tongue, or is that just like her lips? Because I don't remember her coming in with lipstick on. It's one of the things I didn't notice until this playthrough. Strange. There's that. Is that an egg with a? Is that a wind-up? Is that a wind-up egg that can walk? I forgot how to describe it. It's like that binoculars from Toy Story. You wind it up and it walks. I think. Is that a? No, that's just something that got spilled in the explosion. I'm not really sure what a centrifuge is, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those things where you put the test tubes in and it stirs it for you. It's going like shake, 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 shake. You know, I don't really think it actually spins as much as just shakes. But I might be thinking of something different. I think Lynn's hair changes color from today versus yesterday. It might just be the gas in the room. I don't know if you guys can actually hear the music right now. I'm going to turn that up just a bit more. There we go. Oh wait, no, I'm wearing headphones. I'm being an idiot. I have headphones on. That's going to muffle some of the music. Derp. I got nothing to talk about again. What is that thing plugged? Oh wait, no. The cord probably got blown off. Duh. They have sticky notes everywhere. Look at this, look at this. Sticky note. Sticky note. Sticky note. Sticky note. Sticky note. I know these are bulletin boards, but I still call them sticky notes just because there's nothing else to call them. What's left of what I think is a sticky note. This little thing right here looks kind of like an engine. Kind of like, take off. It's going to go flying off. Maybe it's an air intake, actually. Because I know that a lot of jet engines have that like an air intake on the front, so that might be what that is. This is an air intake. What else is there to talk about? What time is it? Okay, that's good. Oh, by the way, they're about to have something kind of hilarious. I'm just gonna shut up. Lynn doesn't know who anyone else is either. Considering that they're all wearing the same clothes, I'd say it's kind of hard not to figure it out. But, considering what just happened, they probably have some sort of mental shock that prevents that. I think that's what's left of the thing that just blew up, by the way. Yeah, see, even Bree thinks it's stupid. Yeah, see. Do they really need to give it away? She's the only African American there is. Yeah, see? Yeah. Well, you're not really a guy anymore, so you have to get over that part, but still. I think it's funny how Dina pretty much just got flat-chested and Dan just went bleh. Dan's having a really hard time with this because, as you can tell, those are very big and very distracting. For people who are guys like myself, we don't really know how this feels, but from what I can tell from playing through these games, those are apparently very sensitive. I did not know that. So basically, the bigger they are, apparently the more sensitive they are, at least in this game. So Dan's going to be very distracted, because she's going to have a very hard time adapting. I think Dan actually is kind of... Well, I'm not going to spoil it yet. They kind of foreshadow it. I'm probably going to spoil it during their actual playthrough, maybe when Dan admits something later on. I'm just going to foreshadow it for now, but Dan is a bit... There's a reason why Dan is having such a hard time, and it's definitely not because of self-esteem. There's something else going on, but it's only been foreshadowed on. Dina is the most okay with this because, well, frankly, like I said, they were hiding their true research. Oh my god, there was 2 more sticky notes that I couldn't see. Oh, I guess they do fully show that poster. No, I was thinking of the other poster. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, even Bree's like, wait a minute. Whoops. Oh, I wonder. I bet that's how. Okay. There's another character that wasn't inside the lab that got transformed. This is a bit of a spoiler, but they're going to be introduced later on anyway. In Lynn, Dina's stories. I forget who else. They might be in Bree's and Dan's. No, not in Dan's story. Yeah, they're busy talking about what if the whole world turns into a female. I'm pretty sure the females would turn it... Oh, wait, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Nope. The gas only turns people into females. It'd be funny if the females suddenly became, in air quotes, more feminine. I don't really know how to define that. I'm not going to say anymore. But that'd be kind of funny if suddenly the female gas made them even worse. But I highly doubt it. I love how everybody calls Dan adorable. Dan has a very hard time with that. Oh, another thing is, when I will play Dan's playthrough, I only did 1 playthrough of that, and as far as I know, there's only 2 people to romance, so I'm going to romance the character that I didn't do. even though I kind of think that the one that I did the first time is the true ending, and by true ending I mean the ending all the other stories will use. Dan is the farthest along in the whole storyline part in her playthrough. Oh, what time is it? Okay, that's good. I have a bad sense of time, so don't be surprised if I'm talking about what time it is a lot. Bree has 3 romanceable characters. Based on what you just saw, Dan is in fact one of them. I believe Dan is Dan is basically that comfort friend, you know? Like, these two are kind of like best friends, you know? They console each other, etc. And that is basically how you romance Dan as Bree. I know that is a spoiler, but Dan is kind of the least likely to be the canon ending for Bree. And based on spoiler alert for this one, this is going to be a 30-second spoiler, so starting now. Dan actually, at least with a certain playthrough, meets Bree and one of the 3 romanceable characters at a pool. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to be starting with... Okay, you know what? Spoiler's over. I'm going to be starting with what I believe to be the true ending for Bree. And Bree has 3 romanceable characters. You can only get one with the first decision in the game. That is kind of insane. Oh, and pretty much Ben's just like, are you kidding me? I have to watch everything now? They might not have said that yet. That's about it. Thing. Which is basically why Bree is upset. Oh, they might talk about changing their names now. That investor is the boss of Dina and Lynn, by the way. Oh, that's right! Basically, the investor got TG'd as well. For those who don't know what TG'd is, that is transgendered, which is basically gender changed. TF refers to transformation, so a TGTF is of course someone who changes his gender. Sometimes they just put it as TG, other times it's TGTF, but that's the basic idea. Ben's begrudgingly washing everything. Dina is basically kind of out there, kind of eccentric, kind of hyper. I wouldn't be surprised if Dina had something akin to ADHD, but without the actual attention deficit part. Because I feel like Dina is just hyper energetic. That might be what she is, actually. And no, that did not come from the actual transformation. It's just an overabundance of happiness in Dina's case, and tends to go kind of lunatic, as you'll probably find out through the rest of these playthroughs. I am going to have to cut this very soon. I'll probably turn off my autoplay at that point. I never understood why Bree separates her fingers like that on this occasion. For those of you who are 18 plus, you can probably figure out what that is for. For those of you who aren't, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Let's just say that bowlers don't use their index and pinky fingers for a reason. That is because they are not in the center of the hand, and thus do not have what it takes to provide the best level of ball roll. And it's kind of a similar function with that part of the female anatomy. If you find talk like this offensive, please let me know. I will try to cut down on it. I will cut down on it until, or rather I hear feedback about it. So, if I don't hear feedback about it, I'm just going to assume that you either don't care or don't want it. Oh wow, these people are adapting surprisingly well. You'd think that there would be more like Dan, you know, like ones that just could not handle it. I know that if I had this happen to me, I would just lose my shit. I would friggin' lose it. It's kind of like Yale, actually. Yale has that. But Yale is one of those weird ones where you can influence how accepting they are. Yale only has like one romanceable character. And it's actually kind of funny how far that character will go if you try and reject them over and over again. I will let you guys buy the game for yourselves to find those endings. I will go with the whole acceptance of your fate ending for Yale, which I believe is mostly the true ending. She might have resisted here or there, but done those actions anyway. I'm not really sure. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure I know what Yale's ending is. Steph's ending is kind of a bit of a mystery, but I'm pretty sure I know what that one is. Dan's, I haven't played the other endings yet. There's like 5 endings for Dan and Steph. They say so on the opening cutscenes, so... Well, not cutscenes, on the character select. Look at Dan's happy face. Happy. Oh, I like this face. I see how people can say that Dan is adorable. See, look, 2 more sticky notes that I missed because of that. Oh, by the way, she's doing the Chan thing to be funny. It's a feminine suffix because people in Japan actually do not use Mr., Miss, or Mrs. They actually use them at the end of the word, like Chan, Kun, San, etc. San is basically a formal way of calling them, like if you're talking to a stranger or someone that you want to show respect to, you would use San. If you use Chan, it's more of a... Sorry, Chan is more of a feminine version of it, kind of a way of saying that they're cute, etc. Two variants of Chan is... And no, not like Jackie Chan, I just want to point that out, is Chin and Chi. Those are basically just shortened versions for Chan. There's various other ways to mix the word up as long as they get the idea. But those are basically ways of saying that they're cute, etc., etc. They're normally used by comedic relief characters in the animes. Sorry, in anime. I keep forgetting that anime doesn't really have a plural word. I don't think. Sama is used when you are admitting that the person you're talking to is better than you, or that you have loyalty to them and they are a higher rank than you. Like if you're talking to your boss, you would probably use san or sama. If you're not using any suffix at all, that means that they are very good friends with you. So if any of you do communicate with people in Japan or have something to do with Japanese culture, please be aware of that. Like if you use Mr., Miss, or Mrs., they learn English, so they might understand, but it's best to just use san at the end because it's just easier for them to hear it in their default language. I'm going to stop talking now. Or maybe not. As soon as this one conversation with these two is over, I'm going to have to cut it. I'm going to change up my recording one because I'm pretty sure within the next episode there is going to be the nudity. I'm not going to cut it out because they do have story dialogue. They do actually, in this game, they have occasional pin-ups where it will put a black screen and it will slowly scroll up their body. Like it will start, like my mouse here is the top line of where the screen will be. Like right here, and it will slowly scroll up at about this speed until you get back to the top of the frame. So I'm going to have to cover that up respectively with a giant sticky note. I've made up my mind I'm going to use a sticky note. But thankfully, it does not cover the dialogue when it comes to this part of the body, I don't think, because I will be skipping it. Oh, crap, I just remembered. If I actually try to skip it, then that might accidentally show it. Oh, that's not good. Thankfully, there's not very much dialogue during the pinup, because the pinup counts as a single piece of dialogue here, because as you've seen, they change their appearance when a new dialogue starts. So the most you'll probably be seeing, you'll probably be able to read the dialogue, yeah, a lot like this, but imagine the person just slowly scrolling up. Now I'm going to turn off autoplay here. I'm going to cut it within the next 30 seconds or so. Dan is, sorry, this is Bree's first decision, is whether or not to cut her hair. That is basically what's going to trigger which of the two romanceable characters you go for. I'm pretty sure Dan can be obtained through either long or short hair. But if you go short hair, you get one. If you go long hair, you get the other. So I'm going to go right up to the decision and cut it. I'll turn on autoplay because it stops at the decisions. Look at all these things. Could you imagine a girl having all these things on their wall outside of this? Like, look at this. This is a skull and crossbones. It's probably some death metal encyclopedia. Some sort of trophy back there. Everything else pretty standard. I can't remember what your age is, Bree. Look at this, the porno hidden under the sheet, hidden under the pillow. Well, it's something, but I don't know if it's a porno, but it's cliche. I don't know what holds that lamp there. Ugh. And then there's this. Now, regardless of the actual audio quality in terms of the music, I'm going to cut it here. Basically, when it comes to the music, I will be watching this back before I post it and adjusting it, but I will not be re-recording this one because I cannot currently repeat what I've just covered. Sorry about that. So I'm going to cut it here. Thanks for watching.